excited to join you because normally I don't join you this early. We are jumping on because we had an unexpected change of plans, and that's something I wanted to bring up for today's Spirit Says Wisdom. So I was supposed to be on a podcast recording today at this time, and 2 minutes before we were supposed to hit record, I get an email saying like, so sorry, have to reschedule. In the past, the old version of me, before I started looking for the positive and the solution, the bitchney version of me, I would have immediately been like, oh my God, are you serious? Which, of course, part of me was like, really, 2 minutes? Like I set up, had to do all the things because it literally takes an act of God to get all this camera stuff set up outside. We don't have it just set up in a studio room. So it reminded me of the time where I had a client in the hair salon no-show me. She had booked a hair appointment for an hour and then no call, no show, no nothing. So it was during that time where I was like working on reframing my mindset, choosing to see the good, the glass half full, if you will. So I called Chris up and I said, hey, I have an hour. I think I need some new headshots for some new business cards. Will you come take some photos of me? And he was like, yeah, sure. Why not? So instead of sitting there mad and angry, like, oh my God, that was my rent money, which used to be my old story. When people would no show, like, how could they disrespect me like that? Instead, I was like, well, what can I do with this hour? And we went and took photos. And during that photo shoot, I got a phone call from a client that I had done 6 months prior. I had only done her one time. She crashed her sister's hair appointment, was like, hey, I'm getting married this weekend. Can you cut my hair during her processing time? Normally, I would say no for boundaries. And you teach your clients how to treat you. And I don't want anyone thinking they can just show up and say, can you work on me today? Because that's not how it works. And especially 20 years, I've been doing hair 20 years. So my books are booked out for months. And intuitively, I felt a full body yes. I was like, actually, yes, you're getting married this weekend. You never come. You're not a hair salon person. So like, let me just help you out. Plus, I love your sister. Let's make some magic happen. So I trusted my intuition. 6 months later, trusting my intuition again to go take the photos. Oh my God, please stop raining. Again, this is why setting up outside is very important because there's weather. There's weather conditions. But anyway, I get a phone call during that little photo shoot, impromptu, from that client who happens to work for Good Morning Texas. And at that time, I was saying, I want to manifest opportunities to be able to show up and share my message of women empowerment and self-love on a bigger screen, on a bigger platform. I just want more women to know to fucking love yourself. Like we're all over here beating ourselves up. Like let's stop and collectively reframe and start loving ourselves. And so I wanted to share that message through Shine School, through the Shine from the Inside Oracle cards, which are so funny because I just gave my personal deck away to one of my childhood friends. He was visiting my mom last night. And he's like, I collect Oracle decks. I'm like, really? Well, let me give you the best one you've never had. And I gave him my Shine from the Inside. So today I don't have my Oracle deck. There's some upstairs, like, packaged up or whatever. But we're going to be pulling some tarot cards. But that got me thinking. It was during the time of when I was like trying to manifest my life, my current reality. And I just kept saying, I want to be seen on a bigger stage. So when she called me and said, hey, Britt, it's me. I don't know if you know, but I work for Good Morning Texas. And I just remember how fun and how cute you were. And that made me laugh because for the first half of my career as a hairstylist, I would show up in sweatpants and my hair in a ponytail, and I rolled out of bed by 11:30, literally, to get to the salon by noon. It was like not great 20s, honestly. But then I realized you have to start embodying the energy that you want to step into. And for me, as a role model in the beauty industry, I can't show up looking half-assed. And I'm a Libra, y'all. Like, what is wrong? So for me, I started embodying the energy, going pro, acting as if like I am that vision and version of me that has a message to share. And because I started showing up and embodying that energy in the salon, that translated to, I trust this woman. She could deliver on the segment on Good Morning Texas. And when she said, I want to do a segment on hair, would you be interested? I was like, absolutely yes. This story really has so many different layers. It's not just getting on TV. I actually feel really drawn to tell you like the ripple effects you don't even know are happening with one embodied choice. From that, I was with Chris doing some hypnosis sessions before the live because I've never been on TV before. I have to be there at 7 a.m. Y'all, I get out of bed at like 11:30 to go to work. This is new for me. I'm going to be on camera. I'm going to be live. Oh my God. And so Chris is like, let's do some hypno sessions. I love being married to a hypnotist, y'all. It's amazing. Like no fears, no problems. All my traumas, bye. But anywho, I'm doing these sessions with Chris. We're actually on vacation with Chris's mom in Colorado, and we're sitting outside just like this. And I'm imagining all the magic magic that's going to happen and how I speak clearly. And we should have programmed like my hands would stay stable because my God, my energy was like my generator energy. My grandma called me after the segment and goes, "Were you nervous, honey? Your hands were shaking." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me, Grandma?" Like I had fucking volts of batteries going through me. But what we did program in that hypnosis session was that the producer would love it so much that they'd come right up to me and tell me it was amazing. And they'd say, "We want you back." And you know what happened? As soon as that segment ended, we were off air. The producer beelined straight to me and she said, "That was amazing. We'd love to have you back." Within a month, I was back on TV. Now, here's what's interesting, because again, the ripple effect and embodying that version of yourself that is ready to express at full capacity and full authenticity. I got asked to be back on literally a month later, but here was what was interesting. The subject this time was on at-home hair color, and everything in my professional like beauty industry background was like, absolutely not. The answer is no, don't do it. But I also have that other side of me that says, I know that there's a lot of women out there that are not going to take the time or the money or the effort or anything to go to the hair salon, and they're still coloring their hair at home. So if my intention and my message is to serve and to teach and to help others, to help empower women, then who would I be as a teacher by not sharing how they could actually benefit themselves or do something different or think about it in a new way versus me being like, no, don't do it. So I got a little bit of both. I slept on that answer. I was like, actually, I don't know. Let me sit with that. And I set a little intention that if I'm meant to do this, like, please show me a way that I can inspire all women, and like show me that like this is the right path for me. What was weird is I eventually came to the answer. What I was sharing is that not everyone's gonna have that salon experience. So what can I teach them to make it easier at home? So I came up with my bit. Here's the 4-step thing that you need to do at home, how to section your hair, where to start, the do's and don'ts. And then when she asked, well, what about highlights? I got to actually express myself. Like, highlights are a whole different chemical that can fry your hair off. That is for artists to work with, not for like at home. Now, I get it. Some of you are bleaching your hair at home. That's how I started. Okay. So like, I don't need you coming at me crazy. Like, good for you. But in general, I don't want people frying off their fucking hair. Like, chemicals are real. So I said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. But if you want gray coverage, like, let's go all day. So I did the segment, yada, yada. The really cool part about the story, this long-winded story, is that the next week I went to Costco at a different town than I normally am in. And I just heard like, stop here. I was like, okay. So we stopped at Costco. And as I'm checking out in the line, this lady in all purple and like rainbow shoes, like beeline straight to me. I'm like, oh, I love her. I love her energy already. Like, she's so colorful. And she said, were you on? And I already knew. I'm like, yeah, I was. And she goes, I just want to say thank you. I'm like, me? What? She said, I want to say thank you for the segment that you did on how to color your hair at home, because I was really struggling with like the gray coverage and that tip on pre-softening and blah, blah, blah. She was like, that really helped me. That was it. That was my confirmation when I asked Spirit, like, can you show me that this is like the right path, that I'm meant to teach this, even though part of it like was like against what I felt like to be true as a professional. But I found a way to continue to teach and continue to share. So I just want to share how one no-show, how one person not coming to the podcast or the scheduled thing that you have could just be the catalyst or the ripple effect to this entire trajectory of the dreams that you've been visioning, that you've been asking for. Had that client not no-showed me and I chose to say, how can I make the best of this? I wouldn't have been on TV once. I wouldn't have been on TV twice. I wouldn't have had that impact for the women that I wanted to empower actually come up to me at a random Costco and say, you helped me. Wow. I ended up getting some amazing clients that I had forever after doing that segment, because they were like, I finally found the person that gets me, that gets it. And so I'm so grateful for that opportunity. But had I not chosen to say, I'm going to do something differently, I would not have been embodying that energy of someone who has a message to share. So I really hope that lands with you and you're in a position where maybe things are changing and you're like, I didn't plan for that. Well, what good can come from it? Because it might just be the catalyst or the ripple effect that you need to move forward, which I personally drew the chariot card for myself today. So I find it to be interesting that that is the message coming through for WooWoo Wednesday. So I am so excited to see what comes up for this week. I am getting ready to host my, I don't even know how many we've done goddess retreats thus far, but we are going back to where it all started years ago in Florida. I am so excited for this one. Here's what's super cool about this goddess retreat. And there's always someone that's like last minute, 2 to 3 days out. They're like, okay, I'm coming. So let me just throw that out there. We have one spot left. If we don't fill it, it's totally fine. But if you were like, I am thinking about it, are you going to be that last person that's like, I know I need this, but I digress. I just have to put it out there because literally every single year within the last 72 to 48 hours, someone signs up. So I'm no stranger to that. But what it got me thinking about is this year's goddess retreat is completely different in that all the women that are joining are 45 to 65. It's a more wise crone energy of women who have lived life, have done the thing, and now they're at an absolute turning point in their life, not because of chaos and trauma, although that definitely played a part in a lot of their lives. Like when I was talking to my team about like describe the women coming in 3 words. One of the words I used was absolutely fucking powerful. I guess that could be all 3 words, but absolutely fucking powerful. Every single one of these women that are joining have been through some serious trauma and heartbreak and loss and change and grief and all the things, and they have risen. They have become the version of themselves that stood up to the test, that learned the lessons, that gained the resilience and the courage and the grit that it takes to get through life, honestly. So I'm extremely excited to see like the level of wisdom and love and support that comes through at this goddess retreat. And all the fun things. This year we rented 3 Moke cruisers, so I'm so excited. We're gonna be cruising 30A in a colorful style. And I want to tell you all the things that we're doing, but I love keeping it a surprise. So we're just gonna leave it at that. All right, I'm gonna keep shuffling. We have 1 card that flew out, and I'm looking for 2 more for the week to see what message we need to pay attention to really step into our most embodied self. You know, as we move into Taurus season, we're getting grounded and practical into all the ideas and inspiration and motivation that came up through this Aries season. Oh, hello. And 1 more. So this is just a beautiful time of integration right now. We're in between moons, which is super exciting because I just got back from my girlfriend Sarai's Good Girl funeral, where on the new moon in Aries, we said goodbye to the freaking people pleaser. We did our eulogy and laid to rest that good girl version of ourselves that is doesn't speak her truth, that shrinks herself. I always say I'm a star shoved in a square shaped box. Like that version of myself we said goodbye to on that new moon in Aries. Which is interesting because fast forward to the full moon that we're about to have, this full flower moon lands on the crown chakra day at Goddess Retreat. It's like I plan it with the moons or something. But when we do our crown chakra crowning literally on the flower full moon on the beach, it's so interesting to see like the cycle that we're in right now of stepping into this new empowered version of ourselves, but also like these wings are new. Like, how does it feel? So Taurus is going to be that grounding, like crash pad landing space where it's soft and beautiful and nurturing, but also asking you like step up, like use the energy you were just gifted in this Aries season. All right, 1 more card for the week. There it is. Oh, I see you. You guys know I love to be surprised. I never want to know what cards are coming up because it just tells such a beautiful story. Okay, let's say hi to everyone who's here. If you're watching, make sure you share in the comments where you're watching from, what your sun sign is. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Goddess Nikki. Hi, Mimi's Hummingbird. Hi, Katie. Hello, Mindy. Hello, everyone. Oh, let me pull up the chats here on YouTube. Hi, Tamlin. I'll take one for my birthday week. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. Okay, I'll definitely pull you a card at the end. So stay tuned for the end because I will bring someone on live and pull a card, and one for you, Miss Tamlin. All right, first card for the week for WooWoo Wednesday is the 5 of Swords. This is winning at all cost. This is the energy of like, it's almost the sense of defeat. That's the key word for this card. So it's like, you may have won the battle, but did you win the war? And was it worth sacrificing your integrity or your energy or, my mom always taught me like pick your battles. And now I totally understand what she means. Like there are just times where you save yourself so much time, energy, and regret. Like Chris says it to me, not all the time, but there's a good amount of times because I always come back with a little sass and he will say to me, well, I don't even know why I asked you that. And I'm like, well, me either, because you obviously knew my answer and the answer. So why are we having this conversation? So that's kind of what that feels like. Is it even worth having the conversation? No, because neither of us are like, we didn't get anywhere. You know what I mean? So this card comes up as a reminder to make sure that you are thinking about everyone involved. Now, that's not to say like boundaries and some people just need to be like no energy at all, like we are cutting you off, no thank you. But when I see this card of feeling like defeat or loss or that type of energy, it's saying don't focus on some of those don't focus on the drama. Don't focus on those battles that are not worth fighting so that you can preserve your energy. Fives are all about change and in the suit of the mind. So what this feels like is a belief change. Like you stop fighting people that don't think the same way that you think. It's like me trying to convince people that I'm psychic that don't believe in the psychic world or the psychic energy or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'm not here to, that is a battle I choose not to fight. Could I win? In theory, every time, yes, but does that mean they will understand or that their beliefs will change or that they get it or like, no, it won't. So am I really winning? So the message here is what battle is not worth your fight right now and what is, because it's not just about like retreating from everything because you're like, I don't want to put any energy into anything. This is about choosing which ones are worth the effort and time. Okay. I see the whole combination now, the Page of Pentacles. This is showing us that it's important for us to get practical and get down and dirty in our manifestation, to know that you have an idea, a vision, some kind of gift to express to the world. And when I see the Page of Pentacles, it's saying that you're moving into that energy of belief. I'm believing in myself. So maybe this is you fighting your own self. Like this is self-sabotage energy to me. This is saying like, I have this vision and I want to manifest this thing, but these old stories that I tell myself are actually holding me back from getting that. So the Page of Pentacles showing up is showing me that it's time to have a practical plan. It's time to move forward on, the visions and the ideas that you have despite what your mind is thinking, which is interesting because the page, 2 pages in a row. So the Page of Wands is showing up and this is the one of the creative vision. This is the one of the insight. So what I'm seeing is when you stop mentally fighting yourself on those inner battles that you're having on, is it possible for me? Or who am I to do that? Or whatever negative, crazy story is going on in there. Then it's showing me that you can manifest the ideas and the goals and the vision that you have, but you have to get locked in with yourself. You have to believe in yourself and you have to believe in your vision. That is one of the biggest like keys to any type of manifestation, is if you don't believe it's possible, then it's not possible. Chris, as a hypnotist, always says, like when clients will ask like, how sure are you that this will work? And Chris is like 1,000,000% sure, as long as you have a willingness to change, as long as you're willing to update your beliefs. And if the client says like, no, like, I just don't believe that's going to work for me, then guess what? Like Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And so it's always up to your belief system. That's what's running the whole show. And what's really crazy about that is that our belief system and our subconscious are programmed to be our operating system all the way up until about age 11 or 12. What's crazy about that is that you don't really have any control of that. It's why I always thought I was fat. My uncle at age like 8 called me Brittney as a joke. Okay, boom, imprinted in my subconscious. I'm heavy. I'm heavy and it's hard to lift me up. I must be fat. Okay. Labels that got put on, maybe something as simple as like, you're just like your dad, and your dad never shows up on time. Your dad's like mean, I don't know, whatever that may be. And so you have this belief system like, oh, I'm just like my dad, so I repeat those patterns. Or you have your mom's bitchiness, which I do, and sometimes I like it. But think about it. The parents saying something quick in passing, or a teacher saying like, you're just not very good at that. That imprints the subconscious and becomes your radical belief system that you operate off of until you meet a hypnotist, until you do mushrooms, until you hit rock bottom, until you have, let's be real, some trauma that's big enough to say, oh, I believe different. Like I'm not going to do that anymore. So what I'm seeing in this week's message is that you are the gatekeeper to your own subconscious. And until you decide that you're willing to let go of the stories you tell yourself, the mental attitudes, attitudes, the old beliefs, the limiting beliefs. Oh my God, the limiting beliefs. Until you decide to take responsibility and accountability for that, I'm seeing like that's the key to being able to manifest the visions and the ideas that are coming through. And you're at a potent stage. You're not at the beginning stage. These are not aces of pentacles and wands. That would just be like the promise that it's available in the future. These are the pages, bro. These are like, we've moved through the cycle. We are ready. This is time. You're in potent energy. So especially with Taurus season being a season of manifestation, I would definitely get clear with yourself on what are my goals. And if you struggle with that, if you're like, I don't really know how to set aligned goals, like I know how to set people-pleasing goals or what I should do. If you struggle with that, DM me the word goals or go to brittneycarmichael.com/goals, and that will get you access to my authentically aligned goal setting guide. There's also a masterclass in meditation to help you update the subconscious mind so that you can step into this new empowered version of yourself. But this is the biggest thing. If you don't have a direction to set your mind to, then it's going to operate on like repeating patterns. And what I'm seeing here is that you've done so much growth and so much work, and you're ready to like finally let and be like co-creative, finally let this magic through you. But you have to update the belief system. You have to stop fighting yourself is what it feels like. And when you fight yourself, you end up attracting people that reflect back to you why it's so hard to do that thing or whatever the case may be. So if you've been called to start that class, to write the book, to bring the community together, to paint the picture, whatever it is, like follow through on that energy. Okay, powerful week of you are in control of your mind. You can manifest anything you want during this practical grounded season, and your ideas and inspiration that are coming through are absolutely meant to be brought into the world by you through your unique, authentic, creative expression. Okay, I have 7 minutes before I have to jump on a speaker call. I'm going to be speaking. All my Denver girls, where are you at? I will be in Denver on May 16, 17, 18. I'm speaking at Fempire. It's an amazing women's summit for woo-woo women in business. So definitely if you're in the Denver area, reach out. I'd love to see you while I'm in town. But I have to go on that call. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull someone on live. I feel like I already have people joining us. So let me pop this on. Miss Katie, I'm going to bring you on for a live reading, and then I will wrap up with Tamlin's birthday card message. All right. So cool to see everyone here. Well, hello, darling. You win.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? It's good to see you.
Oh, good. You too.
Okay, so what I like to do on these Spirit Says readings is pull a card for you to see what message comes through. And if you have any questions after that, feel free to ask, okay?
Okay.
Also, just want to say, like, seeing you on the dance floor at Good Girl Funeral, like busting and moving and grooving was like the most beautiful thing to see you reclaim your power. Oh my gosh, sister, it was incredible. So let's see what card.
Thank you. I think that was one of my biggest breakthroughs.
Wow.
Was that?
That's huge. That's huge. Oh, well, there goes your card. Okay, sister. It flew out for you. The 2 of Wands comes up, and this is a card of choice and decision. This is a card of really getting clear. You know, the Page of Wands showed up in our weekly reading, which is saying you have that inspired idea. Well, this is saying you also have that choice. You get to take that vision that you're being gifted with and do something with it. So right now, I'm curious, what choice are you feeling called to make in your life?
To finally stop responding and letting my soon-to-be ex trigger me with his little tantrums and his little things that he tries to get my control back.
You know what this 2 of Wands reminds me of is like, whenever and a lot of the women I coach and do readings for are like leaving a narcissist, and or they've done that and now they want to build a business based on like how they've healed. What I see in this card is future planning. So when I think about I'm ready for a new path, I'm ready for something different, you know, and you saw me at Good Girl Funeral ask that question, by when? By when? When are you going to do this? Like, what is the future plan? Because this is a preparation card. This is saying you've made a decision that you're going to move forward with a new direction in your life. And what can you do to prepare for that? Is that start saving money? Is that find a job? Is that find a new place to live? Like, those are going to be some of those questions that come up during this time.
Well, those are all the questions, but you can't find a job, so I can't save money.
Well,
and I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. If you say I can't, then you're right.
No,
but
I know.
if you say it's possible,
not that I can't. Well, it is possible, but like I can't sell my house until the divorce is final. So if he drags his feet, then it could be a year, and I can't afford to live in that house. So it's not that I don't want to. It's not that I want to say can't. It's just that there's so many roadblocks that there's literally nothing I can do to really move those roadblocks until other things are taken care of.
Well, I do hear the logical side of you answering that. But as I mentioned earlier in today's reading, it is a belief. And if you don't have the belief that miracles are possible, that anything could change, that despite the circumstances and the roadblocks that I currently see that I'm planning for, I still have fucking deep ass faith and trust and a belief that says, if I choose to make, I'm about to fucking go ham, y'all. If I choose to make my life better, then the universe, God, spirit, whatever, my friends, my sisterhood are going to support me in that path. I may not know how to get through these blocks. I may not know the obstacles, but I do know me, and I do know that it's possible, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. So like, show me the next possible step that I can take to move forward. Like, that's the level of energy that I would love to see you bringing to this situation, because that's the kind of faith it takes when you're in those like deep rooted, like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? You have to have like some serious faith to choose to get out of there.
Yeah, and it's like, 15 plus, and then other years of all entangling. So it's literally like this huge rubber band that somewhere deep inside that rubber band, there's me, but there's so many bands around it that it's like, pushing forward through that path and trying to actually figure out. So
it's so true. It's so true, but it is possible. And now that you've voiced that to the community, your sisterhood, all of us, like, we are cheering you on. But the belief system, more than anything, has to change. Like, it may have 95 obstacles in the way, but damn it, I'm going to believe that it is possible for me. And that is the type of energy that starts to move mountains and that starts to create miracles. And I can only offer you that as something to try. Just try it. It feels a hell of a lot better than saying, well, it'll never fucking work for me, because that feels automatically defeating, which was that first card we pulled. Holy fucking shit. That was the first card we pulled this week, was defeat. So we don't want that defeat level energy, right?
Right.
So are we committed to believe that no matter how crazy the obstacles, no matter how much like we think that it's just like, how is this going to work? That there's they say like a mustard seed of faith. That's all you need. Just a little grain of like possibility.
Okay.
Just a possibility. That's it.
Mustard seed. I like that. Okay.
Yes. We don't need a lot. We just need a little, and it has to be in the direction of where you want to go. So big freaking sparkle magic to you, Katie, on being able to just shift the mindset to say, I don't know how, but I trust that it's possible. And that's it. That's all we need.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. No problem.
Absolutely. Okay. I have no idea how to make this disappear.
Nor do I.
I think there should be like
a little long. I don't know either.
Yeah. I feel like there's got to be like a little button somewhere, something.
I think if I hit the X, that means you're gone.
No, I think if you click the X, it'll just pull you out of here, but I'll still be live. Try that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Okay, that was so amazing. Oh, such a great reminder that, again, when we say those stories like, I can't, it's not possible, but how? Those are already coming from a mindset of defeat. And it was so beautiful to get to see that in real time, because it could be simple. It could be so easy where you're just like, yeah, but I can't do that. And it doesn't feel like anything. You're like, I don't know. That's just normal. That's like how I normally show up. But if you say, I don't know how, but I trust that it's possible, whoo, that changes the frequency, that changes what you're calling in, it changes what you're asking. Ooh, okay. I was starting to get super pumped up. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is exactly it. Like, we play these games with our own self and our own mind of like limiting ourselves on what's possible. And at the Good Girl funeral, what ended up happening is I would ask all the women, but what if there was a possibility, or what if you saw it this way, or what if, my mom used to always call me the what if queen. She's like, you're the queen of what if. You would always be like, Britt, or Mom, what if this happened? And what if we all got along? And what if we all shared our gifts? And what if that was me as a child, always dreaming, always seeing the possibility, always hoping for the best. So I love being able to share that kind of perspective with you, to see that there's always room for magic. Okay, Tamlin, this is your birthday card. Ooh, the Eight of Cups comes up for you, Tamlin. This is saying it's time to turn your back on the way that society is operating and don't be caught up in all that drama and really focus on that internal spiritual quest. The who am I question comes up when I think of this card. It's going inward on this like spiritual sabbatical of like, what is it that really moves me? What drives me? What makes me excited? What inspires me? When I see the Eight of Cups, it's such a potent card of allowing spirit to guide you and show you exactly where you've been feeling like you want to withdraw from life, or you've been disappointed, or sometimes this card comes up as that abandoned energy. You see she's walking away from everything that she's built. This is a card sometimes of escapism and withdrawal. So when this card comes up, it's showing you that it is an emotional, something's missing emotionally because it's a suit of cups, right? So this card can come up when there's a sense of loss or that wholeness and emotional fulfillment is lacking. So this is a gentle nudge to say, what would bring you joy right now? What would bring you more energy? This, yeah. What lights you up? That's the biggest question here, is having the awareness along your journey to kind of look inward and say like, what truly makes me feel motivated to get up and do a creative project or try something new or rebuild some happiness in my life. And, you know, because I know you personally, I know you're taking those steps right now with your job and your home and all of that. But this is saying where there is a little bit of emotional lack or the not fulfillment, you know, when you, it's interesting because the Nine of Cups is the fulfillment satiation card. So the Eight of Cups is like one step before you get to satisfied. So it's saying like you've done a lot through your emotional growth and healing, but you're at that turning point, like that final turning point of like, what is that one missing piece that would make me just go, like life is good. I feel so relaxed. I feel satiated. So how do we get to that energy? So this card is saying something is missing in the heart. Something is missing in the emotions. Ask yourself, what brings you joy? All right. Where'd you go, Tamlin? I'm looking for the comments. Oh my gosh. Yay. Thank you. You're so welcome. Okay. What a potent message this week for Woo Wednesday. A little earlier than normal, but hey, we are rolling with the punches and asking what good can come from the situations of change or loss or transformation. And that's exactly what happened today. So I am now late to my speaker call. I just all the time. I love you guys. Spread this sparkle magic to your soul sisters by tagging them, share it, post it on your page, whatever you got to do. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you. Oh, not next week. We will be at Goddess Retreat. Let's see if we could do a collective Goddess Retreat Woo Wednesday. Wouldn't that be dope to have all these wise women like help interpret and pull cards? TBD on that. That could be hella fun. All right. Love you guys. Peace. Bye.